Right, so next up, we're going to get a little bit advanced with LioranBoard. We're going to change some source settings. So this is going to show you some basic JSON manipulation and obviously understanding a little bit about how JSON works. So I'm going to create a new source in OBS just here. I'm going to use a image for starters. I'm just going to call it image, press OK, because the only settings that we can change for the image is basically which image we're going to use. So if I press browse now, and you'll see I've got a moon here, and I've got the mocking Andi, this one. I'm going to load this one in, because that's an incredible picture, just like so, and press OK. This is the image that we've got in here. Next up, we need to go to scene collection up at the top and press export, because this is going to export basically all our scene that we've got open in OBS at the moment. Press save. That'll get saved to the desktop. So I'm going to close this one down and go to my desktop and open up this blank scene. And this is all the JSON stuff. Yours will look much longer than this because I've only got one source on there and it looks quite complicated. You can view it in Notepad++, which is what I like to do, or there's an online website just here called JSON Viewer. And I'll leave the link in the description. And there's loads of stuff that breaks down here. Like I say, it looks hard to read. But if you go to viewer just in the top left here, it'll make it a little bit more understandable. So we're looking for our sources that we've created, which is here. And it numbers them 0, 1. So if I go to 0, you'll see image source. That's what we're using. The name of it is image. If we go to settings, you'll see the file is... and then this file location just there. So that is what we're going to change because it'll effectively load a different image in there. So we can't just type in file next in LioranBoard when we set up the button. We need to get the correct information. So we can go back to the text bit just here if we wanted to, and we can find it now manually. Now we know what we're looking for, and you'll see it just here. We've got settings, and then inside this bracket, we've got quotation marks around this, same file, and then the file name just there, and then a closed bracket as well. So now we've got that information, let's jump into LioranBoard. So hopping into LioranBoard, we will go to our new deck just here. We'll create a new button like we've always done. And I'm going to put change image to moon for now. Go back, press create. And then we're going to press add commands as we've done previously. And we're going to go to settings. And we're going to do source change settings just here. The source name is going to be image because that's what we're going to be manipulating. And it automatically puts in the brackets just here as you can see. So that's what we're going to work inside of. So we want to go to file. All right. That is the first bit that we need. And then we'll need the file path. So one thing that I like to do with this sort of thing is just copy that whole entire line and we can paste it directly into these brackets just here. So now you can see you've got to make sure that it is perfectly spelled out and everything like that. It is all manual kind of labor with this. It is quite technical. And this basically is going to set our image that we've got in OBS, which is this one, to that image, okay? But we want to change it to the moon, okay? So if I go back into my desktop and look, the name of this file is moon.png. So I'm going to just copy that file name, as you can see just here, bang back into LioranBoard, basically delete this and paste my new file name in there. So we're going to change image, the file, to the moon. So, yeah, that was a weird sentence. Press done again, and we'll see it's popped up here. If we open up OBS and now press this button, you'll see when we press this, it'll change to the moon picture. Just like so. If we press it again, it's going to constantly try and change that file path to that same file. So if we want to create another button, for example, we'll go, we're just going to copy this button and paste it here, and we'll say change to SpongeBob, press OK. And then we'll go and edit the commands and change this file path again to whatever file we wanted. It could be from a different folder if we wanted to. I'm just using the ones on the desktop just here. I'm just going to copy that file name, paste it into here, like so. Press done again. Now when I'm in OBS, you'll see change image to SpongeBob, change it to the moon. So that is changing the custom settings for that. There are different things that we can use this on. So if I right click and do another add, and we'll add, say, a color source, for instance, we could choose the color source just here, and we can change the width, the height, and the color as well. So if I choose an orange, for instance, and we'll say the width is 100 by 200. So it's a little tiny rectangle just there. I'm going to hide the other source. And now I can press scene collection and export again, because now we've made changes. We're not going to be able to read previous what we had on there. So I'm going to press save and overwrite it. Close this down and jump into that text file. Again, you can use Notepad++. However you want to read this, I'm just going to copy it and put it onto this website. I'm going to clear it, paste it in here, and we can see the viewer now. And when we go in here, to choose sources, you'll see there's 3 different ones there, 0, 1, and 2. So 0, because that is our top source. We can see it's the color source just here. Go to settings, and you can see the color, the height, and the width just there. So the color, I believe that's in like Android or something like that. I can't remember the exact color. I'm sure it is like an Android color source. You can definitely check it out though. So I'm going to change the height, the width, and the color for this one. So it's a bit more technical. So I'm going to go into LioranBoard and we're going to create a new button again, and we'll call change color source. For now, color source 1, I don't know. And we'll add a command, add the source change settings. Just there, and we'll choose the source name. It is going to be the image that the color source, sorry, that we're going to be changing. And again, we're working inside these brackets. But because I know we need to use quotation marks, I'll do, I just quote it. Nice, I love it. I can type in height like that. Make sure I do put the other quotation mark in, and I can change the height now to, I'm going to say 500, and then comma, because I want to do another command, width. So I'll put that in quote marks again, colon, and then I want to change this one to 1000, just like that. So if press done again, jump into OBS and press this button, you'll see it changes the size of it. So that is just changing the size. You can change the color as well. I'm going to do one more for you. We can do this for absolutely any source at all, which is really powerful. You can do it for browser sources to change your browser links and different things like that. One last one that I'm going to show you is using a text source, for instance. So I'm going to open a text source and I put this is some text. I'm going to change some of these settings. I'm going to go with this font. Why not? That looks amazing. I can change the color of it here, so I'm going to go for a yellow color, because if you don't change the defaults, you're not going to be able to see the actual names in the file, because as default, everything's got a set of default instructions, so it doesn't register it in your JSON file, so you won't be able to like say, oh, it's in white text without kind of, yeah, you understand. Hopefully you do. You can change our alignment as well, so we'll change center. We can use custom extents if we really wanted to as well. I'm not going to do it for this tutorial because that might get a little bit more complicated, but I'm just going to press OK for now. In fact, I might change the size as well. We'll change the size to, we'll make it smaller to 72. There we go. And then press OK. And now we're going to export the scene again to our desktop. Overwrite what we had previously. That's fine. Jump to my desktop. Open it up. And you'll see it starts getting really long now. And we've only got 3 sources in there. So it gets a little bit harder to read. This is why it's handy to use this viewer. So I'm going to clear everything in here. Paste it. And then move over to the viewer, and you'll see everything's compiled again. We can press the plus sign, and we've got the 0, 1, 2, and 3 this time. On 0, you'll see the text GDI source, which is the one that we've just created. So we now can go to settings, and you'll see, because we changed the alignment, it says align center, the color has been changed, the extents is false, because we've not added any extents. We can choose the font from here as well. So let's do, we'll change the font of this one. So we're going to go into settings. This way it gets a little bit more complicated. So I'm going to jump back to my text and show you it in here. It should be down at the bottom somewhere. So we can see the text GDI source. It just looks really complicated, but trust me, a few attempts with using this and you'll start understanding where everything is. It's usually in alphabetical order. So you can see here this font section that we were just looking at. So inside the settings, we've got this. Something that I do like to do as well is you can copy. Say if I copy that and delete everything in here, paste it, so we've got the smaller command, and I can press remove white space and it puts it into a single command here. So I can make changes to this. So if I want to move it from the center alignment and go left, I can put that in there, change the color in there if I wanted to. I'm going to do extents, leave that as false. I'm going to change the font back to Arial, and change the size to 269. The style, this is some text, this is some, I'm going to put this is some more text, just like that. And now I can copy this, go over to LioranBoard, create a new button, and I'm going to call this one change text source, press create, right click, add commands, and we're going to do settings again. So source change settings, the text, and we're just going to paste this over that. We don't need any more brackets on the edge, so I've made sure to delete the brackets because we've already got them in the statement just here. We're going to go and press done. Press done again, and now when we go into OBS and press our little button, you'll see some stuff's going to change. As you can see, we've gone back to an Arial font, and we've changed the size of the text. We could have changed the color as well. You can see what's been changed, because if I go in here, you'll see the alignment has changed to left, rather than being on center, and that's how you can manipulate settings. I could be here all day explaining how it works, so just fiddle about with it and start learning how to understand JSON. I'll be doing a video on that soon as well.